occupied dwelling, felony third. 7 charges total. His bond's $157,500. And I want to say, as to the person, we don't know which homeowner shot at him. I guess they think that they did something wrong, which they did not. If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. So whoever that was, you're not in trouble. Come see us. We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save taxpayers money. So with that, questions? No questions?
Any other cars that stand out in your mind?
Crypto investing, and it's a quiet weekend in the market, and you can see what we did the last couple days since we broke down. If we zoom out to the daily time frame, you can see we've been in this falling channel or rising channel, a bearish continuation pattern. And this is where the Fed called off the dogs, and you can see the price has been consistently going down. It actually started before then when they talked about calling off the dogs back here, right? And that's why the Fed is so important into what's going on in the market, because if you look, let's get rid of that. If you look at what was going on back here, the Fed called in the dogs in March 2020 when Bitcoin was sitting down here at $4,000, and the Fed called in the dogs. They printed more money than in the history of the United States from March 2020 through the end of the year, right, than in the whole United States history. And the stock market, the crypto market, the tech market, the EV market, all the spec assets, the Netflixes, the Disney Plus, the Virgin Galactics, the Ideanomics, the Neos of the world, right? The Teslas of the world, the Rivians of the world, right? All these companies that blew up, that had no reason to be blowing up. Arc Innovation Fund, right? They've all collapsed since then, and because the Fed called off the dogs here. But you can see they pumped, and then the Fed started talking about in here that they're going to have to start calling off the dogs soon, and that had the first leg down in crypto. Then it recovered a little bit, and then the Fed started calling off the dogs right here and actually started doing it, and the price has been down ever since, right? And that's why it's very important to know what the Fed's doing, because we'll see again the next time the Fed calls in or calls off the dogs where the price action goes, right? If they start tightening more, the price of this is going way down. And that's an early indicator on what the Fed's going to do, and that's why it's very important to pay attention to what the Federal Reserve, with the criminal gangsters that have infiltrated that federal government source of the Federal Reserve and the United States government, and the monetary and fiscal people that like Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, Janet Yellen, the Secretary of Treasury. They have been infiltrated by the criminal gangsters and the market manipulators to rig this market, right? And that's what they're there to do. They're there to put on a smiley face, spiel propaganda for the state-run media, and pushed by the state-run media from the criminal gangsters in Washington that are pulling the strings. And they're just up there to bluff and to lie and to spread the propaganda that they want to be spread at the time. And the mainstream corporate criminal gangster media will pump whatever they want to be pumped. And that's what's going on with the market. And you can see we've been in this bearish continuation pattern where we have uptrending support, uptrending resistance, uptrending lower support, upper resistance, lower support, resistance, upper resistance, lower support, lower support, lower support. And now we're here at this lower support. And eventually this is going to break down. Does it have to break down? No. But will it eventually break to the downside? Absolutely. I believe so, right? And that's why we're watching this. And as soon as you break down your first targets on the way down, that's why we use these fib circles on current day right there. The current underneath support would be $36,844.67 before buyers could be there. And that would coincide beautifully with a regional bottom back here. You see that all this support and resistance in this wick, that would line up right here. And then you have another area of underneath support at this orange ring, and then the next one at the orange and blue ring, right? So your step down fashion is if you can't hold this and you get rejected here, you're coming to 36,844.67, and then you're coming down to $30,985. And as you know, as we get later on into the season, old Vincenzo has a downside target of 13,336, but an initial target on this targeted move, let's make that a fancy green color right there. That is your bear flag breakdown. It brings you right to 21,076 and 69 cents. And that brings you to some key volume indicator areas. You see this, where you have all kinds of free and open areas right here. See this? Once you break down that level up here at that 30,000 area, there's nothing in the volume indicator to where buyers could be until you get all the way down there at about 20,000. And that's why we have that line marked out there, because you go straight through this area. There's very little buyers here and sellers. There's very little volume, so the price would jump through it on the upside, and conversely on the downside, it'll slide right through that. And that's one of the indicators that I use, the volume indicator, and it tells you where the buyer should be. And you can even see in the monthly where most of the buyers are all the way down here between 13,500, and that's why we have a major target down there. And the bottom, where there's a lot of sellers at the bottom end of this, at $8,600, right? And eventually, I think that is where you're going, but you can see why we're calling for that late season. 13,000. Move that over there. $13,336, right? And if we zoom on in here to get to a localized closer time frame, you can see this weekend we're just back testing and dancing around on this upper resistance now. It's uptrending at 39,990 and 45 cents. If you want to get bullish, what you got to do is you got to break back in to this area, right? You got to get back into this channel and then trade up and get over this 200-day moving average. But right now you're just doing a classic back test, straddling, and then when you break down, that confirms the breakdown, right? So that's what we're looking at there. XRP is the same thing. We've been out ahead of the competition, diagnosing, sniffing out, detecting, and averting and subverting the criminal gangsters and market manipulators that have fleece heisted and shysted the retail trader. And you can see we've pumped up and did what we thought that you often but not always do. You back test it, then you got rejected. Now if you come back down here like we thought you would once you got rejected up here, we said your next move is a double bottom here, and that's when we marked this horizontal support localized area, where if you bounce here you can hold, and then you can bounce back up and try to get back up into here again, right? Or this is a classic hook-nosed Jew bearish reversal pattern. You're going to dance along here, come up a little bit. The 200 is going to come down and reject you, and it's going to bring you down to the downside and bring you to that underneath short-term target of initial support at 63 cents on your way to your short-term target down here at 47 cents. And then, as you do know, when you do get a confirmed breakdown out of this pattern, because this has been a long symmetrical triangle in XRP, if we bring our industry exclusive purchasing tool out just one more time, you can see we entered into this over a year ago on April 11th, upper resistance, lower support, upper resistance, moving average support, upper resistance, support, lower support, moving average resistance, lower support, upper resistance, lower support. And then we've been squeezed, as you often have big full lateral moves at the beginning of a formation being developed. When you pump into it, then you crash down, then you pump. But then as you squeeze into it, the symmetrical triangle has descending upper resistance, uptrending underneath support, and it gets narrower and squeezes you into a duck's beak at the very end. And then you got to break up or break down. And I've been calling this whole time, I believe you're breaking down in this. And I think you're coming down here. And you can see this on a full lateral flush out of this symmetrical triangle. The targeted move is right here in orange, the arrow, at about 19-20 cents. And if you go back here in history, that makes perfect sense of support, 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 and then support back there on a breakdown. And I think that's exactly what's going to be going on over the next couple of months, and I would be prepared for that, as this is a big liquidation that'll squeeze all the margin out, flush all the weak hands out, and cleanse and clean out the stock that got overpumped last year. And that's a 73% flush from the 79 cents. And then from the top on any of the jabronis that got caught up here at the high, see that, the high way up there, that Vincenzo, that's not even that's the second high, right? The second high, that would be 89% down. And from the first high, where did we get up to? I thought we got up to $2 in that move. No, that's it. We only got $1.92. So that'd be 89% down from the top that Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing warned you about, because everybody thought when XRP was up here. They all said it's going to the moon, baby. The rocket ship was going off, and $2, $3, $8, $10 were next. And Vincenzo said, nope, this thing has to come down. This is the top of the bubble. And we diagnosed, sniffed it out, and counted it beautifully, and the price has come down. Like, subscribe, and share. It's a slow weekend. There's not a lot going on until the market opens tomorrow night. Peace and love. Peace and love.